you guys, through your many, many years of experiences, have you
Put your mic up a little bit. Yeah.
have you guys came across perceptions of you, for example, when you walk into a room, when you know, for an audition, or perceptions of you that made you feel not worthy or of less value or not beautiful, or I can go on and on, but
I haven't had that. I have not had an instance where I didn't do that. But here's what was interesting. I grew up in Harlem. So when I first came out here, there was this thing. They had S training and something called the Impact Group. And in this Impact Group, I had a buddy, and that person, I don't even know how we got on this, that person would call me early in the morning, and I would have to stand in the mirror and say, I'm pretty. So Cheryl had an issue with that, but had nothing to do with the business. So this person would stay on the phone, and I would be crying. I had a hard time recognizing that I was beautiful. And I don't know how many weeks, months that we did this, that I ended up doing that. And if you were to call me today, when my phone rings, it says, hello, beautiful, you got a text message. So I didn't have that in the industry. I think, and I've carried a lot of naivete. Did I say that word right, Charles? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And so I think that has carried me well a great mile as too, because I didn't have any preconceptions. I just went about putting one foot in front of the other and constantly doing that. And then I have to do with this, okay. And that's how I just keep getting work, getting stuff like that. And when I was talking about being a rank and file, so I've worked a lot, but you're like, who is she? Because we only recognize someone who's been on a series, someone that you've seen all the time. But don't be fooled. It is the tortoise race. Okay, yes, I want to have the retirement acting job. I have a friend who said that. I said, what's a retirement acting job? She said, NCIS. I said, hello. Okay, that show's been on forever. The leads don't do much. It's all the guest stars that do all the sweating and the work and, oh, my husband! You know, they do all the work, right? So they just say, oh, you know, you got a contusion here, whatever, and they go home with the fat check, you know. Meanwhile, we're working 99 jobs to be able to be available for that audition. That's another story. But, so no, I haven't had that experience where I felt too uncomfortable. But I have been told, can you make it a little bit more, you know, put more flavor, more urban, or ghetto, you know. I actually had one person, I was taking one of their classes, and he said, I'm just gonna tell you right straight, they're looking for sass. When you do your thing, they're looking for sass. And I was actually quite grateful that he told me that. I was like, oh, okay, I can give whatever sass I have. But I don't have, like Lavelle, is it Lavelle? I have a master's, I had education, and I learned voice and diction. So when I was in the projects, my friends told me I was talking white. And I said, I'm talking white? Because I was doing all the exercises. My teacher was African American, and he was my idol. So I mimicked everything he did, the voice and diction teacher. Because this is black guy, James Moody. I was like, that was who I did. And so I did all the exercises. So I didn't know I was talking white. And I had a white guy that was interested in me. I didn't even realize that. He said, you talk so different. And I said, all my friends talk like this. It's very interesting. Anyway, I'm talking too much, but go ahead. Yeah, so no, I haven't had that.
Well, when you talk about going back to walking into a room, there was a time that at some point I told myself, you know, no more perm, any of that stuff. And so I cut my hair like Cheryl, and I had my hair short. I mean, we're talking short. I had it for about 10 years, but I remember when I first got the interesting thing is when I cut my hair completely off, a week later, I booked a series, which was interesting. But then after that, you know, when the series was over and I would go into a room, I kept on hearing this thing that you're so earthy. And I was confused because I still don't know what earthy is. You know, so I was like, what does earthy? I mean, is it, you know, I'm new agey, or is it, you know, I couldn't understand what this earthy thing was that, you know, they were telling me I was. You know, with the short hair at that time, you know, I didn't go on auditions where I had a husband. I mean, you had I played, I'm telling you, I was a nurse on every freaking show, you know, with my haircut. And I mean, it was always the nurse. I mean, they were good roles, but it was like a nurse.
Because you're earthy.
And I guess because I'm earthy. And, you know, but it was just, you know, but again, it was the teacher or, you know, the what do you call it? You know, those types of specific things. And if I did, you know, play somebody's mother, I was a gang mother. Mm-hmm. You know, so I guess I put that together. Is that what earthy means? Or is it the hair? And I just could not understand, and I still don't understand what that category of the black woman being earthy means.
As far as walking into a room and feeling less than, I remember, may have been 97, 98. I was in New York, and I went to a casting director workshop to meet a commercial agent. And she gave me some copy. I did the copy. And when I was done, she says, wow, you did such a great job with that. And you're beautiful, you have great teeth, your smile, but you're dark. And that can be distracting to the product. I was like, okay. So I went home and I prayed. I said, you know what, Lord? If you want to use me to show this world that this which you made is a good thing, I'm yours. Maybe about a couple of months after that, I booked an international campaign for Dark and Lovely.
Yes!
And when I tell people that story, they do what most people in this room did. But I come from a family of immigrants, growing up with the name-calling African booty scratcher. And names didn't really bother us. I'll say me. Because the focus in my household was, what do you bring to the table? What was your skill? How well were you doing in school? So when this woman said to me, but you're dark, it didn't sit on me the way it would maybe someone else, because my thinking was, what about the skill? But I could do the thing, man. But I understand, you know, aesthetics, beauty is part of the business. And in some ways I understood what she meant, because black is beautiful. But that's the extent of my experience as far as being in a space where someone looked at me and maybe thought I didn't belong. The other side of it for me has been maybe in cases where they're looking for someone African or someone who can do the accent. Mm-hmm. And I go in and I talk to them And they say, you're not really African enough. And then in some circles, when I'm playing American, there's something different about you. So has been my, yeah.
Okay, for me, as far as an audition, I wanted to say Shay invited me to be here tonight, so I wanted to say thank you for that. And of course, I know you too, but he was the one that talked to me about it, and I was able to rearrange some things and be here, so I'm glad you included me. For me, it's not so much going in the room with the audition and making me feel bad and making me feel not worthy and not enough. That's not the case for me. I love to audition because I feel like an audition is just an opportunity to show my talent. So that's what I go in there to do. Now, once I book the job, I have been at work and I felt not a part of many, many, many times. I recently did a series called Lemony Snicket's, a series of unfortunate events, and we shot that in Vancouver. And working with director Barry Sonnenfeld was amazing. Neil Patrick Harris, amazing in the show. And when I would go to Vancouver, I would experience no racism. And it would start on the airplane. It would start on the airplane. White men would say to me, "Can I help you with your bag?" And I was like, oh, he can see me. Oh, wow, okay. And then when I'm in the hotel, walking down the hallway, families coming toward me, white families, they would say, "Good morning." And I was like, me? Me? They would speak to me. Now, they would be in conversation, but they would speak to me. They would say, "Good afternoon." They would acknowledge me. I'd be in the elevator. Somebody would get in, happen to be white, and they'd say, "Good afternoon." I was like, what? You can see me? Because they can't see me in my country. You get in the elevator or somebody gets in with you, everybody look up. Or everybody look down, but we definitely ain't gonna acknowledge you, that's for sure. So it's just a different thing. And they're very inclusive. Like when the cast is getting ready to do something, they'd say, "Cleo, you wanna come along?" That's what I experienced in Vancouver. But here, many times there's not a lot of people who look like you at work. So when they get ready to go do stuff, sometimes they don't say, "Hey, you want to go?" Or "Hey, we're getting ready to go do something. You want to go do?" So that's the thing that's different for me. And I have to say, and I don't mind saying it, I'm like, "Hey, so where y'all going? Where y'all going? Am I included or what's up?" Because I'm all right with that, because they can, I have to, and I'm all right. And they can say yes or no, or we were going to go just the three of us, or they can say whatever they want to, but I'm always okay with saying, "Is it okay if I come along?" Or what time y'all going? Now, when you going to be? So I'm all right with that. But I can tell you in Vancouver, I did not experience any of that. And it's truly a feeling that I would run to, because I loved shooting up there for the 2 years that I did that show.
Oh, you can clap.
Yeah.